Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Brandon Bias from ChicCheckIt.com here with another Tutorial Tuesday. Before I get into the tutorial for today, there's a couple things that I want to address. The first thing is the fact that people keep asking me about the dock that I use, which is this thing here at the bottom. For those of you that keep asking, it's called a Nexus dock. You can go look it up on Google and it'll be one of the first things that you see. And it's relatively easy to install and change all the settings and all that. So that in itself, I'm pretty sure most people can tweak with it and figure out themselves. The other thing that people keep trying to talk to me about is the fact that I've got a custom sound scheme, and other people apparently want to get the same sound scheme as me. So by sound scheme, I mean the fact that I can click this icon, makes a little boom sound, which is pretty awesome. I love it. And then do other kinds of things like change little or have little swishy things for like menus and I don't know, just kind of stuff like that. So the actual process behind making it so I can do that is a little more lengthy. So let me know if you guys want me to make that into a tutorial. The other thing that I wanted to address is my desktop background. I don't know, it was kind of cool when I originally made it, but I'm getting a little, I guess I'm getting a little bored with it, so I want to make something new. Or, I don't know, I just want to get a new desktop background. So, give me some ideas for a new desktop background, because, you know, I want to make something new. Or you can actually just make one yourself and send it to me and see if I like it. Send it to Brandon@ChicCheckIt.com. And I usually have on this particular screen a 1440 by 900 resolution, but sometimes I use 1280 by 720, and I don't know. So just go with one of those two settings, 1440 by 900 or 1280 by 720, and I'll be a happy camper. Okay, so let's get into this tutorial. The effect that we're going over today is this. Let's get a better look going here. So there we go. Actually, even better, let's do this. Aha. Alright, so today we're going over this this papery, like, text effect kind of thing. It kind of looks like kind of bent paper of some sort. I don't know. So we'll just call this the Papercraft text effect. And no, I can't take any credit at all for the idea behind this. There was actually someone that already posted a tutorial on it somewhere else. But someone requested a tutorial on this, and I thought it was cool, like just the way that it was made and all that. So I figured I should, you know, kind of repost it, and I'll actually put a link to the original in the description, just so I don't like steal his thunder or anything, because this guy was brilliant in the creation of this tutorial. So let's go ahead and actually get into the making of this whole thing. There we go. Getting my menus mixed up. So I'll just go ahead and close this out, and yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and save the changes just because there we go. Just because sometimes it's best to save your projects. Alright, so let's start a new document. And we'll go with our usual 1280 by 720. You don't really have to if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. And we'll go with a white background this time around rather than transparent, and you'll see why in just a second. So hit OK and get your canvas the size that you like, and we'll double click the background layer and hit OK to unlock it. And to make this black, we'll just invert it by hitting Control-I or Command-I, which is a lot easier, and I guess, than trying to tell you guys to fill it in with some random shortcut. And so let's actually go ahead and swap to our text tool by hitting the letter T. And before we start typing anything out, go up here and make sure that you have the Disco Deck font installed, because that's what we'll be using. I'll give you a link. And we'll use a 340 point font. You can use whatever you want, it's completely up to you. And I've got it set to sharp, but that's not entirely important. And right now the color is set to black, so let's go down here to the foreground background color, swap that around to white, and there we go, our text is set to white. Alright, so let's go ahead and click somewhere off to the left side of the canvas, and we'll type in the letter C. It can be capital or lowercase, it doesn't really make any difference because it all looks the same. And we want each letter to be its own layer, so type out one letter, and either hit the check mark, or you can hit enter on your keyboard next to the number pad, and that'll commit that letter right there. And you can either click again and hope your aligns with your other letters, when you type out the rest of your word. But the way I like to do this part is actually do a little bit of a trick that I learned. It turns out when you're using certain tools, like in this case the text tool, if you hold the control key, it actually temporarily swaps it back to your move tool. And when you're using your move tool, if you hold the alt key, so right now I'm holding the control key and the alt key. With the Mac that would be the command key and the option key. You can actually click and drag and it will duplicate that layer, and then you just hold shift while you're doing that, and it will make sure it doesn't move up or down. So you can click and drag that off to the side. Who's texting me? What the heck? Oh, it's Jessica. Hey Jessica, sorry, a little busy. Alright, so once again, once you have that duplicated, you can actually select it like so, and then just change that letter. And that's actually looking like it's in a pretty good spot, but I'll move it off to the side so you guys don't get all like tripped out thinking that they're all one letter. And so I changed that to the letter R because we're going to call this craft. So let's just continue this. Control, Alt, click and drag, hold the Shift key, change the letter to A, and then just repeat it. So F and T. Alright, so I want to make sure that this is aligned vertically and horizontally. So I'm going to go back to my move tool and then select all of these letters and then put them into a group by hitting Control G. And then I'm going to select my canvas by hitting Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac, and the grouping is Command G if you're on a Mac. I forgot to mention that, sorry about that. And so what we'll do is we'll click this little icon right here to center it horizontally, and don't bother centering it vertically. Actually go to your group and click the drop down arrow to open it, go to the letter A, and then go back and click the align vertically button, because then that centers the letter A by itself, and then you can go and position the C, R, F, and T as you like. And so we'll go ahead and deselect the canvas by hitting Control D or Command D if you're on a Mac. And then just go to each letter. So let's select the letter R, and then using the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can actually move this over like so. And then we'll just have this kind of intersect the A a little bit right there. And then we'll go back and select the letter C and nudge that to the right. And let's put it right about there, just so it's all nice and white. Don't take that in a sexual way, because I'm pretty sure someone might get offended. Alright, so let's use the letter T. I suppose a better phrasing would be racist way, so. Okay, so now that we've got all of these together as we need them, we can go ahead and start applying effects and gradients and such. So what we'll do is go to our gradient tool by hitting the letter G, and then what you're going to do is go up here to the gradient tool options and select this third icon right here, which is the reflected gradient, or angle gradient, my bad. Reflected is slightly different. Yeah, that's it right there. Alright, and then you're going to go to this little drop down arrow, and then click this original black to white, I don't know, gradient preset I guess it's called. And then go back and click on this bar to open up the custom gradient dialog and all that, or the gradient editor I should say. Alright, so what we'll do with this is select the white slider, and then click and drag to add another slider, and position it at about 70%. And then click this little midpoint diamond right here, and drag it off to the left until the location is at 22%. And then what you want to do is just change the name of this to, I don't know, I guess we'll just change this to Papercraft, and then click New, and that will, oops, push a random button of some sort, and that will actually save it as one of your gradients, and just go ahead and hit OK. And then going back to your gradient tool and selecting your layer 0 back here, just go to the upper left hand corner and click and drag to the right while holding the shift key and let go, and that will put in this angle gradient right here. And so now what we're going to do is go to the letter C right here. People keep texting me. What the heck? I'm just getting all kinds of like interrupted today, getting text messages and sisters walking in on me and all that. What's with this? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go to the effects icon and add a gradient overlay. And so we're going to leave, actually no. Whoa, what's going on here? Whoa, hang on. I don't care. Download later. This is such a bad time. What the heck? I keep getting interrupted by different things. This is insane. Alright, so what we'll do is change the style of this to angle. And we'll change the degrees of that to 0. Or wow, that tripped me up. Angle, 0, I don't know. Okay, so now we'll go to the gradient and give that a click. And then we're going to go ahead and select this preset right here that we just made a second ago. And then hit OK. And so click and drag this to the side. You can actually see that we're already getting that kind of papery look. And so now we'll just change up the drop shadow a little bit. So select that. And we're going to change the distance to 0. And we'll change the spread to 18. And change the size to 21. And hit OK. You'll see that we just got a nice soft drop shadow going on. And let's change this back to the move tool because I like having that pointer. And so a quick little tip for you guys: if you hold the Alt key or the Option key, you can actually click and drag this to the effects to another layer, and it'll copy that over. So you can just click and drag, click and drag, and click and drag while holding the Alt key for all those, and it will actually copy that to all of these layers. And obviously, the gradient is not looking right on the R, A, F, and T, so we'll go ahead and fix that up. So we'll go ahead and double-click the gradient overlay on the letter R right there. And so what we'll do, and I'll click and drag this to the side so you see what's going on. Change the angle of that to -90, and that will change it so it's pointing downwards like so, and that looks a little bit better. And we'll hit OK. And since the A is pretty much the same thing, we'll go ahead and hold the Alt key, click and drag the effects to that to copy it, and it'll automatically change that to how we want it. And so next up, we have to go to the letter F, gradient overlay right here, give that double click. And I'm just going to move this off to my other screen so you can see what's going on a little bit better. We don't need to change the angle, we need to change the position. So what you can literally do is click and drag, and it will reposition that gradient for you. So just kind of align that with the edge of the letter F right there, like so. And you actually do have to have this layer style thing open in order to do that. So hit the OK on that, and we'll go to the gradient overlay for the letter T. I'll click and drag this off to the side, and we'll drag this gradient up just a little bit so it's matching with the edge of that T right there. And that's actually looking pretty good, so we'll hit OK. And everything's already in order, so let's start minimizing all these effects. And the last thing we want to take care of is adding a little bit of color. So we'll go down here to the adjustment adder dealio and give that a click. And we'll go and use a solid color. And the color we're using is FFA200. And you can use whatever color you want, but we'll just stick with that for now and hit OK. And just change the blend mode of this to soft light. And voila, that is all there is to this tutorial right there. Sorry for all the interruptions. It was kind of weird to say the least that I kept getting like walked in on and all kinds of randomness, but in general, I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and don't forget to send me in like those suggestions for a background. And also, be sure to tell me if you want me to make that tutorial for my sound scheme and all that stuff. And if you haven't already, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We've got 50 followers on there, which is a significant improvement. And I don't know, I just keep talking on and on. I've got stuff to do, so I'll go ahead and call it a day, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday.